Hello and welcome, guys, to Chasing the Target. I am alone today, so your help and your questions and your comments will really help me out today. There's plenty of to look forward to. The T20s, one days are done for India. Now it's all eyes on the World Test Championship. Is the Border-Gavasker Trophy, India versus Australia. And the first topic that we're going to discuss in this series of topics that we'll have throughout the week is who is going to replace Shreyas Iyer in the first test, who's going to bat at that probably number 5 position. You guys can give your comments who you think 5 पे कौन बैटिंग करना चाहिए. सरफराज आएगा क्या स्क्वाड में या एक टेस्ट के लिए? They'll make do with the people in the squad. Give your opinions and we can make some conversation. सुधीर भाई, आप फर्स्ट है, कैसे हैं आप? सब ठीक ठाक, कैसा चल रहा है? Are you enjoying the cricket? अब तो बारिश पड़ रही सनराइजर्स के गेम में, लेकिन hope you are doing well and excited for the test series. I am very pumped up. I think there's a lot of key battles. और आप देखेंगे अभी अगले हफ्ते मैं फैज भाई और जो भी हमारे मेहमान रहेंगे, we're going to discuss a lot about the key battles, the players to watch out for, the types of pitches we're trying to expect, and there'll be a lot of discussion. लेकिन टुडे आज का जो टॉपिक रहेगा ये है कि भाई 5 पे कौन खेलेंगे इंडिया के लिए. सो द ऑप्शंस, there's plenty of options. There's Surya Kumar Yadav. Will he bat at 5? Will Ishan Kishan bat at 5? With KS Bharat come in, will they play Ishan Kishan and KS Bharat and one bats at 5? Will Shubman Gill drop down and bat at 5? We know that he's an opener, but it looks like KL Rahul is set for that opening slot. तो Shubman Gill क्या 5 पे खेलेगा? फिर आपके पास ये ऑप्शन है कि सरफराज को लेके आए एक टेस्ट के लिए और उसको सीधा खिला दे 5 पे. I don't think that's going to happen, लेकिन that is an option they might have. And who will be the 3 spinners? We will discuss that. I think it is it's a tricky one because Jadeja, Aksar, we know what they can do in tests, but Kuldeep will bring you something different. He's also been incredible in test matches. He has the 5-er in his last test match. For me personally, it would be Ashwin, Kuldeep bhai and Jadeja. And then you can rotate with Jadeja and Aksar. That's what I would personally do. Lekin ab only time will tell. The thing with Jadeja, yes, you can say that he's coming out fresh from an injury. He doesn't have much game time, but he did pick up wickets in that Ranji Trophy. He's bowled a bit, so maybe go Jadeja, and then if he doesn't look 100%, then you can always swap him for Aksar. But I just feel आपके पास 2 like for like अगर है तो bench one and play another spinner who will bring you something different. And for me, Kuldeep Yadav is your leg spinner, wicket taker. On these pitches, he will trouble the Australian batsmen. So that's what I would do. But I can't argue with that either. For me, to be Akshar Jaddu and Ashwin, they can rip any team apart as well, right? The only thing for me is that Akshar Jaddu is similar combination, and also it depends on the pitch. If it's going to turn square from the first session, then yeah, maybe the quicker spinners will be more effective than the ones who flight it. But if there's something in it for the batsmen, and the bowlers have to work a bit hard, I think Kuldeep is the option, because he can take wickets even on flatter pitches. That's just the opinion that I have. So that's a good question. But Chirag bhai, आप मेरे को ये बताइए 5 पे कौन करेंगे? ये तो बात पक्की है कि केएल राहुल ओपनिंग करने वाले हैं, like unless there's an injury or anything like that, he is going to open. तो अभी शुभमन गिल का लोग बोल रहे हैं उसका स्लॉट खुल गया 5 पे, वो कर सकता पोटेंशियली 5 पे बैटिंग. आपके पास सूर्या आप रिस्क लेंगे, बट रिस्क इन द सेंस दैट बिकॉज आप वनडे में भी देखें कि सूर्या टाइम नहीं लेता बैटिंग करते हुए. आई नो रेड बॉल क्रिकेट में he'll probably do that, but again he's not proven right now in red ball cricket. So would you stick with Surya Kumar Yadav as your number 5 option to give something different, try to attack Australia? You also have to understand it's going to be against a very potent Australian attack. ये है कि उनके पास fast bowlers भी है who have done well in the subcontinent, whether it's Sri Lanka or Pakistan, and then they have spinners as well. Nathan Lyon's one of the best spinners in the world. Chirag Singh, Akshar and Jaddu are both left-handed off spinner, but they attack differently. That's a good point. Like, they do attack differently. It's just that, they are both left-arm off spinners. That's what I'm going with. And Kuldeep will just bring something different. And I'm just a big fan of Kuldeep Yadav. I always support him. So that's why I'm going that way. But I think if you go either way, it's fine. I'm not I don't think it's going to be a huge cause for debate, because I think if you play Akshar or Kuldeep, I think either of them will do really well. So it's just about who you want to pick and what Rohit Sharma is thinking. I'm also excited to see Rohit Sharma play and captain in Test. It's been a while since I've seen that. मैं वो देखना चाह रहा हूँ, because बांग्लादेश सीरीज में वो नहीं देखा, वो जो टेस्ट मैच था इंग्लैंड के अगेंस्ट वन ऑफ टेस्ट मैच, उसमें भी रोहित शर्मा को नहीं देखा मैं. तो अभी I'm excited to see him captain and lead the side, because this is a very important series. This is going to be his biggest test as captain so far. Yes, you can say the T20 World Cup was right up there, but a test series with the World Test Championship on the line, I think Rohit Sharma will a lot of people will be looking at him, the decisions he makes in terms of team selection, how he handles his bowlers, and how he guides the team in this series. If Kuldeep plays, I will take Gill, but if no Kuldeep, then Sky, because batting is deep and can take risks. That's a good option. That's a good opinion, because Akshar or Jadeja or Ashwin तीनों batting कर सकते हैं, and Akshar and Jadeja, तो we've seen some big innings from them. Ashwin also. So I think that's a very, very good call. So it depends on the the bowling lineup you're saying, Chirag bhai, and it's a good way to look at it. I didn't think about it in that way, because if you are playing those 3 spinners, then you have extra batting, and if you take Sky, it's a bit of a gamble, but you have backup over there. So yeah, I like that. Not a bad option over there. Me personally, I would bat Shubman Gill at 5. I think I just want to see him bat there. We saw Virat Kohli also start his career batting at 5 in Test cricket, if I'm not mistaken, and he's slowly made his way. And Shubman Gill, I always rate him as a middle order batsman. Maybe it's because the first time I saw him play which was the Under-19 World Cup, he batted at 1 down. So I want to see him in the middle order. And the fact that KL Rahul is your vice captain, I don't think his position will change. He will open the batting. I know the KL bats in one days at number 5, magar test matches mein that's a slot, the opening slot, whether you like to agree or not. And Shubman Gill, I feel that he is the form that he's in, and mind you, he's done well in test cricket also. ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई उन्हें one day T20 अच्छा करा तो लेके आ जाओ उसको, वैसा नहीं है. उन्हें test cricket में भी ठीक ठाक उसकी batting हुई. If you remember, he has 100 as well. He has a 90 at the Gabba. So Shubman Gill, I think, will be ready for the challenge, and the confidence that he's in right now, that is also a plus factor, 100%. And I just feel jab waisa form mein hai, and he's a type of player, he can play all 3 formats, and I feel that he can get this good form into the test format. In T20, it took him a bit of time. We did question him, but he got it in that last T20. He did get that 100. So I would probably go with Shubman Gill. That is my guy in place of Shreyas Iyer. I think what India will miss from Iyer is playing against the spin. That's what they're going to miss, because Shreyas Iyer is a brilliant player of spin bowling, and if it is a ranked turner in the first test in Nagpur, then India will be tested heavily, particularly the top order. We've seen Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli also struggle on ranked turners, and Shreyas Iyer is someone who can score quick runs. They don't have Pant also, mind you. आप ये भी याद रखें कि भाई ऋषभ पंत जो है वो नेथन लायन या लीच रहने दो या जो भी क्वालिटी स्पिनर है ऑपोजिशन का, he takes that spinner down. You don't have that player. And then next to him, Shreyas Iyer, he used to come in counter attack as well, and he does play spin very well. So that is a hole that India will have to fill at that number 5 slot. Whoever's going to be there at 5 might have a big challenge on their hands, and you want to select the best player in that thing. Ibrahim bhai, thank you so much for joining me. What are your thoughts on India adding 4 spinners as net bowlers in Sundar, Rahul Chahar, Rai Kishore, and Saurabh Kumar? My thoughts are that then it's going to be a rank turning series. There's going to be turn from day one in at least the first couple of games. That's my thoughts. If Because if they've gotten all these 4 spinners, that means they are practicing, and they're practicing for the ball to turn this much. So that's my thoughts on it. And definitely, I think it shows that if you have extra spinners in the net bowling, you are focusing on what's going to happen in the series, and what's going to happen, the ball's going to turn. Chirag Bhai is saying also Shreyas has shown very good temperament. Now there will be no batsman in the middle order in for pressure situation, and he's built this because Shreyas here, we've mentioned it 500,000 times. He has a problem with the short ball, but he's built this this form. He's built this ability to play spin, and he's worked hard on his game. So to get injured in this kind of series, I feel bad for him. They're saying he'll be back for that second test, and they're saying it's a precautionary kind of decision not to play Shreyas Iyer in the first test, because I was thinking ki bhai on first test mein injured hai, to second mein bhi shayad mushkil rahega. Why don't they bring in a Sarfraz into the squad? But they're saying that he will be fit for the second test. This is a precautionary measure, so hopefully he gets fit and comes back. But it's a big call, because you want to start the test match on a strong note. You want to start the test series winning note, and for that number 5 is an important position. Maybe you'll say openers 1 down 2 down are more important, but number 5 is an important position, because there's 2 things. One is building on a platform what your top order gives you. The second thing is that you might need him to counter attack. We've seen Rishabh Pant on many occasions, even Shreyas Iyer recently in the Bangladesh series, जहाँ पे आपके 4-5 विकेट जल्दी उखड़ गए. They played a counter attacking innings, and they took India to respectable score. तो उस हिसाब से number 5 is a very important call, and whoever it is will have a lot of responsibility on the shoulders. I'm going Shubman Gill. Some people will say Surya Kumar. Some people will say bring Sarfaraz in, but I don't know if he's going to be in the squad. So उस हिसाब से from what's available now, I'll go there. Also, let me know what are your thoughts on the keeper situation. That's also a good, a debate to have, because there is Ishan Kishan, KS Bharat. I would go KS Bharat. I've been saying this before Ishan Kishan's dip in form in the limited overs. Even when he scored that double hundred, I said you need to go with KS Bharat, because there's 2 reasons. One is that KS Bharat, has played a lot of red ball domestic cricket. Also, he's an excellent keeper. He kept in that series for India as a substitute keeper, and I think he's a very good keeper against the when he's keeping to the likes of Ashwin, Jadeja, Akshar, it's very important to have somebody who's not going to give those buys, who takes those stumpings, who takes those catches. You can't, let opportunities slip. Labuschagne is batting, you have to grab that opportunity. He gives you a chance. Smith is batting, you have to grab the opportunity. You can't afford to drop catches. You can't afford to, of course, ek aad to ho jayega, lekin with a full-time keeper, more often than not, he's going to provide you that. I think a keeper is a better keeper than a better batsman is more important in Test cricket, and especially in these Indian conditions where we know that the ball is going to turn sometime or the other. I think that you have to go with someone with better keeping skills, and for me right now, KS Bharat is your best option in terms of keeping. Unfortunately, Rishabh Pant is not there, and we wish him a speedy recovery. So right now, I would go with KS Bharat, but let me know what you guys think in the chat. Also, let me know who your number 5 is. Even by Chirag Bhai said he would go Shubman if Kuldeep is playing. If Akshar is playing, then he'd go Surya Kumar, because he has that extra batting. I agree, he's a good keeper, but in modern cricket, batting is also needed. But that's the thing, right? Like if you have Rishabh, that's why you can compromise on Rishabh Pant like that. With Ishan Kishan with the bat, also he's not providing. That's my other problem. If Ishan Kishan was blistering, smashing, then I think that would be a debate. We could have that conversation. Keep high. You need a batsman as well. You need someone to be aggressive, but we need that someone like Ishan Kishan to be scoring runs, to be in form. Would you go with that gamble? I don't know. I don't think I would go with that gamble right now. And Ishan Kishan, even in the white ball, the problem is not only the runs, even keeping he's had problems. And I think on a rank turner on a pitch where it's going to turn square, usko bahut problem hone wala hai. So us hisab se mere liye agar main dekha to I think KS Bharat is your best bet. Also, when picking that number five position, you also have to see somebody who plays spin well. We mentioned Nathan Lyon, Ashton Agar, Labuschagne is going to bowl, Steve Smith is going to bowl. Potentially, they might have sweeps in. So you need somebody who has good foot movement. You need somebody who can counter attack. You need somebody who can defend well, smother the ball, on the front foot. So you'll have to look at that when you're looking at your number five option. Saib, hi, thank you so much for joining. Do you think Hardik Pandya retired from Test unofficial looking at current situation? No, I think Hardik Pandya is not 100% fit to play all three formats, and so that's why he's preferring to play white ball cricket. Agar uska fully fitness है, and also because अभी दो वर्ल्ड कप्स है, वनडे का और T20 का वर्ल्ड कप है बैक टू बैक, एंड मोस्ट लाइकली, और आई मीन 50-50 decision, but he might be the captain for the T20 World Cup. So उस हिसाब से he wants to give all his focus on limited over cricket right now. He doesn't want to do something which will cause problems. So that's why I think I don't think he's retired, but after the T20 is done, if he's back in rhythm and he can bowl and bat, then definitely I think he'll consider Test cricket. If you remember, was it Southampton in 2018 versus England? Was that his last Test match? And he picked up a fifer there. I don't know if it was last match or last series, but he did well there with the ball, with the bat. There's a couple times where he counter-attacked along with Virat Kohli. I think it was in South Africa. So Hardik is an option. You need a fast bowling all-rounder, especially in away series. He's an option, but I think because of his fitness concerns and his history with these injuries, we're unlikely to see Hardik Pandya play Test cricket this year, and that's why you have to develop a good all-rounder. I'm telling you, right now, यहाँ पे चल जाएगा अक्सर, कुलदीप, आपके जडेजा, अश्विन, चारों को खिला लो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। लेकिन जब आप ओवल पे फाइनल अगर खेल रहे हैं आप, तो आपको कोई मीडियम पेस ऑलराउंडर होना है, लाइक समवन लाइक Cameron Green. He'll be brilliant, and Cameron Green, potentially you can play him in India also, but when you play overseas test matches, and particularly when you have a final overseas, you need somebody there like a Cameron Green who can offer with the bat and ball, like a Ben Stokes, England have. So that those are the options that India will have to develop, in particular when Hardik Pandya is not playing Test cricket. Yes, the BCCI also, when questioned on whether the four spinners could be added to the squad as an option to play, and the official said maybe if spinners' workloads have to be managed going into the last two tests, that could be possible if they want to manage the workloads. But I think India are going to go full throttle in this series. It's a 4-test match series. They're going to give it their all because the World Test Championship final is on the line. You will see on most occasions Ashwin, Jadeja, Aksar, Kuldeep, 3 out of these 4 starting. I don't think they're going to rest these players. They're going to go full throttle, especially if you look at Ashwin. This is his format. He plays. I know he's played in T20s recently. He's played in the World Cup and all that. Like, this is his format. He's going to play. Aksar is in really good form. He's someone who's picked up his game over the last one or 2 years. So he's has a very good opportunity to play. Kuldeep Yadav is there. Jadeja's coming back from injury. The only thing I can think of is Jadeja. Maybe you have a backup to Jadeja because uska hai un injury se वापस आ रहा है, but the other 3 I think it's good. Mostly it's about practicing against these spinners, trying to play on these those net pitches. If you see, sometimes they do the conducive to turn and all that, and they want those extra spinners to come and challenge. And the spinners that you mentioned, Ibrahim Bhai, they all bring different kind of angles. They'll bring different types of pace, different types of deliveries, different types of releases, and that's going to be a good challenge because we don't know what Australia are going to bring up. And also it will allow you to be prepared for, like, maybe part-timers like Labuschagne or Smith, because the more spinners you play, more different types of spinners you play, it allows you to adjust your game and play accordingly. Who do you think, guys, is the best Indian batter against spin right now, from the available players? So you take IYER out of the equation. Who you think is the best Indian batter? बबूमा आ गया भाई SRS में, और डक पे चले गया नहीं आज, जल्दी आउट हो गया आज बबूमा. I think it was raining when I last checked the score. When I was watching the game, it started raining. Still delayed by rain. 53 for 3 are the Sunrise Eastern Cape. Bavuma 0 of 1 ball, first ball पे Topley निकाला. Herman also Topley निकाला, and Markram was out to Mulder. लेकिन Rosington is still batting 35 of 18, 2 sixes, 5 fours. Hopefully we get to see some action. It doesn't look likely. I don't know, Ibrahim, what the weather update there is in South Africa. Lekin I don't know if we're going to get a full game here for this game. For me, Aksar Jadeja as a bowler. Ooh, also in test matches? I think in one day's T20s, potentially you can say make that argument, but test matches, man, Jadeja has been outstanding. And he's done well overseas also. He's done a good job. He's played as the lone spinner in Australia. He's played in different conditions. I think he just has that more experience in test cricket, red ball cricket, and also even in Indian conditions. I think Jadeja has been outstanding. So Akshar Patel is definitely, he started his career like amazing in test cricket, and he's done so well over the last couple of years. Like, I think he still has time to get to that Jadeja level. Batting wise, I think it's right now Jadeja. Bowling also, I would say slightly Jadeja edge, but yeah, Akshar is getting there, man. And he is a handful in Indian conditions, especially jab match. I think four test match Gujarat mein, right, in Ahmedabad. Oof, he's going to be a handful in that. In Indian conditions, you're saying, still, I don't know, man. It's a tough call. I've seen Jadeja also put up some master classes with the ball in Indian conditions. But fair enough. That's your opinion. No issues with that. Weather not looking good in Durban and Johannesburg could have more washouts over the weekend. Summertime in South Africa and it's raining. And yeah, unfortunately, I was looking forward to this game, even though the Sunrisers lost 3 wickets. They're going at a good run rate, going at a fair clip, and Rosington is smashing those boundaries. So I was looking forward to this game. Unfortunately, if it gets washed out, then yeah, that's going to be a bit sad. But still, plenty of cricket to look forward to at the SAT20. And speaking more of the test match, the India Australia, like I said, we're going to have a lot of matchups we're going to talk about during the next week. So do join us and give your opinions. Also, some key battles. It's always fun, to do these kind of comparisons. Of course, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes our opinions are not right. Like, and it's always fun to have that discussion. And also, let me know what you guys think for you. Which team has the advantage going into this series? Who do you think is going to be the top scorer, top wicket taker, and your prediction right now? You can change the prediction later, but your prediction right now. He has bowling average of 14. That's incredible. Like, I know that. I know his bowling average is outstanding. वो इंग्लैंड सीरीज में तो खतरनाक था उन्हें, like especially second test के बाद क्या bowling करा उन्हें अक्षर पटेल. हर ball इतना इतना turn हो रहा था. He's beating the batsman left, right, and center. And yeah, I know it's an incredible start, but still I want to see him more. Now this series is another challenge. I think he's up against a high quality batsman who actually plays spin well, whether it's Steve Smith, whether it's Labuschagne, David Warner, and stuff. Over here, if he rattles them as well, yeah, you can say he's right up there with Jadeja, or even better in Indian conditions. But right now, just because of the career span, I'm going with Jadeja, Chirag Bhai. So yeah, overall, I think when I'm looking at this series, I will discuss of course the matchups later on in the next few episodes. Faz will join us also today. He's not going to join us, but he will join us in the next thing. But overall, if I'm looking at this topic, which is the fifth thing, I would have ideally liked to see Sarfaraz in the squad and liked him to play in this test match. But with that being said, you can't fix with something which has already been done. But I would probably go with Shubman Gill as my fifth. That's my call, and I am so excited right now. I was thinking, should I close the show, should I not, because I was running out of breath, I'll be very honest with you. But the owner of this channel is joining me in like 5, 10, 15 seconds. Very excited to have him. Faz is not with us today, but the owner is back. And Mr. Abrar Aziz, without further ado, thank you so much for joining me. Assalamu alaikum.
I apologize for the delay. I didn't see your message. I noticed it and I ran and jumped and came.
No, I always send you those anyway, like every day, like almost every day I send you, like, you're a busy guy. You're handling a lot of things there in Chicago. You're on the marketing side, you're on the accounting side, you're doing everything. Also, I just need Arsenal to start losing, because I think you've developed this sort of arrogance, like don't care about us anymore.
I have left this podcast in yours and Faz's able hands. That's all I would say.
Since आज तक मेरे भाई दिख रहे ही नहीं, किधर है भाई, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा कहाँ गए कहाँ नहीं गए. But yeah, how are you doing? How's everything?
I'm doing well. Another bilateral series, another victory, just very normal for India. The problem happens with the ICC tournaments. I don't know how much you've spoken about that, but yeah, the problem is but let's leave all that aside. All of that is in the past. Focus right now is the BGT. So, the Border-Gavasker, looking forward to it. Shreyas Iyer is injured. I'm sure you covered that. So
that is the topic of today, basically. Who is going to bat at number 5 for India in the first test match? because he's not playing the first test. Apparently he's going to come back in the second test, and it's a precautionary kind of move. That's what they're saying. So I don't think Sarfaraz going to come in, but I don't know if you've got other news.
Sarfaraz would have been in perfect position for that number 5. He comes in and he fits the bill perfectly. But I genuinely believe, knowing how the Indian cricketing nature has been to attack in the Test series, just in general, and with the Indian pitches and stuff like that, I do believe that Surya Kumar comes in. I know there's a lot of talk about Gill, but I think Sky might just come in. I think he's proven time and again that he's an able kind of a batsman. I'm 100% sure that his batting is suited best for T20s. But with the way India has evolved in these past few years or whatever, anyone who's performed well in one format has always gotten a chance in some of the other formats. So I do believe that it might be Surya Kumar. Gill has done no harm to himself by scoring century after century. So he's been doing pretty well. But I just think Sky might edge it. What are your thoughts?
My question to you is that Chirag bhai, picked up a very, good opinion. Was that if they're playing Aksar, Jadeja, and Ashwin, then you play Surya Kumar because you can take that gamble because you have that extra batter. But if you're going with Kuldeep, then you play Shubman Gill. That's what he's saying. I honestly would go Shubman Gill regardless. I have my opinion on that. The opinion is two things. One is he's in the form of his life. And he's done well in Test cricket also. It's not like you're taking a gamble that way. And secondly, wasn't it Virat Kohli who used to start batting at 5? I'm making those comparisons. I'm a guy who likes to make those links. And Virat Kohli, I think under Dhoni's captaincy in Australia, was batting at 5 when Sachin and these guys were there. Sachin was batting at 4. I was batting at 5 or even 6. I'm not sure. So I want to see Shubman Gill in that middle order. I think Chirag Bhai's point makes the most sense, where it depends on your bowling. You can take a gamble over there.
So if Gill plays, would you play Gill at 5? Because I personally, if I have Gill play, I'd open Gill with Rohit and I'd bring KL at 5.
केएल भाई वाइस कैप्टन है भैया, मजाक नहीं है. वाइस कैप्टन को ओपनिंग करना पड़ता. वाइस कैप्टन नहीं आते.
I think KL is a better off as a number 5 than he is as an opener.
So my thing over here is, I think in this series the challenge will be more the middle order, the middle overs, and the older ball than the newer ball. So I think KL will actually have an easier job open the batting compared to Shubman Gill. Will have a bigger challenge. That's just my opinion right now, how I look at it. I think that the older ball, not only reverse swing but also turn, is going to be more challenging. So इसलिए मैं जो inform batsman है उसको लेके आना चाह रहा हूँ.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think no problem at all.
Your boy is in the house, man. Dr. Footy, one of big supporters, man. He comes every day almost and always supports us. So yeah, खाने में क्या खाए रुडान थोड़ा share करो, give him some ideas. नाश्ते में क्या कर रहे हैं आप?
Cereal खाया मैं.
Cereal का अमेरिका में ऐसी होता है, ऐसी काम करते. Dr. Footy, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Bottom of my heart that Fez is not on the show today. I know you're a big fan of him and you come for him on the channel. So I apologize, but I will have him back tomorrow or day after.
मैं को मैसेज नहीं करा किधर है उन्हें?
कहाँ फिर ले रहा है इधर उधर भाई. He's a bachelor, man. अस्सलाम वालेकुम भाई लोग. वालेकुम सलाम मोहम्मद भाई. दूल्हे को ओपन ही करना पड़ेगा, चिराग भाई बोल रहे. I got a question for you.
I'm just saying from a cricketing standpoint, I just feel like KL Rahul has more of the ability to play at the number 5 role. I think Gill is a future opener for me. I think that I see Gill as the opening batsman for Indian cricket in the future in all 3 formats. So that's why I want him to go there. I want him to do his thing over there. I don't want him to get too messed up in his head. KL has been kind of the guy who's been kind of pushed around a little bit, and with more responsibility comes more power, right? So he has more responsibility now, so he has to take that initiative, I think, in my personal opinion. But I wouldn't mind either. I wouldn't mind even having Gill in the team. I wouldn't have him 5. I don't mind either or. I just want India to go and get a clean sweep. That's what matters to me.
Don, to back your argument, I would say something which just came on top of my head about Surya Kumar Yadav. He can maybe potentially play a role that Rishabh Pant plays, where he screws with the
That's why I want him. That's literally why I want him.
ऊपर आए उछालो, ये करो वो करो, do something that ऑस्ट्रेलिया परेशान होकर चलाया ना बोल के वैसा. Maybe that's something.
That's literally what I want. I want someone who's in there, because all the other people are very technically sound and can play the good shots and the clean shots and everything. But if you have someone who can just mess with the rhythm a little bit, he needs only 40 of 20. Like he just needs, or not even 20, he needs 40 of 30, 40 of 35. Just mess things up a little bit. Get one, two doubts in their head कि अरे थोड़ा short करना, अरे थोड़ा full डालना, क्या करना बोल के सोच में डाल देना एक 4 over तो भी एक आदमी को. That's all I need from Surya Kumar, because everyone else around him can, I think, play the big innings. But we'll see. It remains to be seen what happens. But it's an interesting. The problem of too many is not never a big problem at all. I think it's nice to have these kind of problems where you think the management is also challenged with making these kind of decisions. So let's see.
I'll give a very quick answer to this. If you have a different opinion, you can give your answer after. Does Ahmedabad take priority over Wankhede for big event matches? Yes. Yes. It does.
Unless Heidenberg has anything to do with it.
Bro, World Cup final. You heard it here first. It's gonna be
at Ahmedabad
Stadium, India.
100%.
Yeah, 100%, right? I'll be shocked, man. I'll do a whole podcast on why it's not in Ahmedabad if it's not there in the final. I'll be shocked if it's not.
No, I think हो गया है वो decision. 100,000 people, bro. Like वो लोगों का है stadium. It's a new stadium, and the amount of capacity. This that. You think about all those things. I think that it takes the precedence, and then the current prime minister के नाम का है. All those things. There's just too many things that happen.
And also like the capacity is the major thing as well. 130,000
people. Yeah.
If it's like an India-Pakistan final, that's not going to be enough either. So you have to go to the biggest ground. So that kind of thing. मिस्टर फूडी भाई बोल रहे हैं डॉक्टर फूडी मालूम है नहीं है उन्होंने आज सो केम फॉर यू. अरे नहीं फिर मेरे को बोलते रहता देखो मेरे वजह से आ रहे सेलिब्रिटी आके देख रहे शो हमारे ये वो तो आई एम फॉरएवर इन योर डेट. मोहम्मद आजम बोलो.
Any person is captain in the 11. The hope is from my side. Yes, the hope is from my side, but we'll see.
जी बोलिए.
Aksar, Jaddu, and Ash, or Kuldeep for Aksar?
So that was the question I was asked, I think, from Chirag bhai early on. I go with Kuldeep. You know why? It's his form. But like, yeah, of course, Kuldeep has
the thing is, of course, and completely understandable. But I think the reason there is this doubt right now is because Aksar is in good form. Sorry, because Kuldeep is in good form, and also Jaddu and Aksar are very similar kind of bowlers.
Similar, yeah, that was going to you. Yeah.
So then there's no real need for having two of the same kind of bowlers in, even though it will be very harsh on Aksar. But I think Kuldeep might bring that additional dimension. And with Ash and Jaddu already select themselves, I think Kuldeep brings that little bit of extra dimension, and then you have the pace of Shami and Siraj to back it up as well, right? So there are 5 good bowlers who can really do damage over there. And I think that's what they should go with.
I think also, Don, depending on the pitch, if there is something in it for the batters, then Kuldeep is a better shout because he's that wicket-taking option. He can flight the ball and everything. Right. But if it's a rank turner, I think you could potentially go all 3 because because the quicker you bowl, it becomes more difficult on a rank turner.
नहीं तो फिर अगर रैंक टर्नर है तो शमी को निकाल के कुलदीप को ला लेना. Siraj is the only fast bowler or something like that.
Don, if Cameron Green is fit, we will discuss that in future episodes. If Cameron Green is fit, does that give Australia a bigger advantage? This is going to be a problem for India, not now, but it's going to be a problem in the final. If they reach the final, it's going to be a problem that they don't have a Cameron Green, Hardik Pandya type player in their squad.
No, I think Cameron Green elevates their team up completely because, it gives you that extra batsman or that all-round option, which an Ash somewhat provides, but on a spinning perspective. But Cameron Green can play 6. I don't think Ash can play at 6, right? So that's the thing. But I guess Jaddu kind of elevates that in some ways. But I think Cameron Green, because he gives you the extra fast bowling option, Australia can go in with an extra spinner at that point in time. That is very important for them.
एक सीमर एक ऑलराउंडर को खिलाओ पूरे स्पिनरों को खिलाओ 3 4 5
and they have now अभी नए उन लोगों के निकले हैं Swepson और ये वो लायन सब अच्छे this will be extremely good for them in terms of a learning curve as well. Some of these spinners can really do damage for India as well because India has been susceptible to spin in the past. We've seen that in the recent past. So
yeah, 100%. And Don, as much as you criticize Shreyas, and I agree with you when you criticize with him. When you criticize him, I agree with you. No, he has a short ball problem. I know that. I agree with you.
In India, I will never because India में best batsman है.
मगर तुम देखो आईपीएल में भी उसको प्रॉब्लम होता है शॉर्ट बॉल के
पेस में डाले तो
इमरान मलिक इन लोग आए तो he will get tested against Cummins and Hazelwood. If Stark comes back, he will get tested. But who is India's best player of spin right now, you think, with
Shreyas
Iyer
Iyer.
out of the equation? Out of the equation.
If Iyer is out of the equation, then it's a very hard one because
Then
Rishabh
that
Pant is
means
my that's what I'm
he's
saying.
not
So
there.
he's
So
also
this is
not
your
there. Iyer is
problem.
also not. It's a big problem because Virat is susceptible. We know that.
Yeah.
Puji is, I guess, Puji because Puji will not really, but not really. I honestly think Shubman Gill is your answer to that, and that's why you have to bring him in the 11. Suddenly, it changed my opinion over there. But yeah,
Uh,
best player of spin is a problem. In my
yeah,
opinion,
Chirag
KL
Bhai
should be
Singh.
out of the play.
केएल भाई, चिराग भाई मैं बोल रहा हूँ, चिराग भाई कब से बोल रहे हैं, 3 महीने से बोल रहे हैं हमारे को केएल राहुल शुड बी आउट ऑफ द 11 सिंस द T20 वर्ल्ड कप, बिफोर द फेलियर्स ही हैज बीन सेइंग दिस.
Can I make a quick suggestion?
Yeah.
Would you consider removing KS Bharat and playing KL as your
No.
keeper and bringing in Gill and Sky?
भैया 90 ओवर कीपिंग करना पड़ता और प्रेशर डालते बेचारे पे. हाँ, ऑलरेडी उन्हें इतना स्ट्रेस में
That's true.
केएल राहुल. हाँ, इतना स्ट्रेस में उसका फॉर्म चल रहा नहीं. ठीक है, शादी होगी, मुबारकबाद. आई एम श्योर ही इज इन अ बेटर स्पेस मेंटली राइट नाउ, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू द ग्राउंड उसपे और प्रेशर डालते.
नहीं,
ओपनिंग
I'm
करा
just
दो.
saying these are ऐसा
I will
thought निकला दिमाग
no,
में
not
तो
I will be very upset if that happens. I might cry the first session if that happens. And Faiz has said that this will happen. He think he will keep. Bro,
really अच्छा.
no chance, bro. I don't think you can't do that. You cannot take that risk. Let him first figure out his batting. उसपे उन्हें वाइस कैप्टन भी है. अब रोहित शर्मा इज अ वेरी फ्रैजाइल सिचुएशन. इफ ही गेट्स इंजर्ड फिर कप्तानी आ जाती, फिर देते आपको उसको उतना रिस्पांसिबिलिटी.
Yeah, true. Impact
आई
player
वांट
नहीं है ना टेस्ट मैचेस में.
हाँ,
Impact player रखना टेस्ट मैचेस में.
इम्पैक्ट के लिए नहीं, वो T20 में रहेगा वो
मैं
इम्पैक्ट.
वो मस्ती मजाक कर रहा हूँ, just joking.
Okay.
But yeah, no, but I completely agree with you. But this was something I read in Twitter and I was just thinking about it. But I don't think that you give him 90 overs. Also, with the spinning conditions and everything, it will become difficult. He'll drop catches and stuff. Not good enough.
भाई की बैक चले देंगे बोल रहे हैं चला भाई. Yeah, bro, and done two things about KS Bharat. One is that he plays red ball cricket, and also that he's a very good keeper, and it's going to be a challenge keeping to Jadeja, Ashwin,
With
and Aksar, even Kuldeep to a certain extent. And you know the problem is going to be if you drop Labushin, the guy is going to punish you. You've seen that in the test documentary, you've seen that in live, you've seen that in every single series. Usko drop karna century marta. You cannot make mistakes like that, and I would first rectify that problem. I'm not saying KS Bharat will catch every single opportunity or he'll take every single stumping, but his percentage of dismissals will be higher than Ishan Kishan, will be higher than KL Rahul. That's what my opinion is.
no, I completely agree because I think KL Rahul is a makeshift T20 wicketkeeper at best. Maybe one days में करा ले रहे whatever, but I think in Test cricket, like you said, 90 overs, and with the rank turners, he will never be able to judge the way KS will judge, and it would be a mistake in my opinion as well if they do it. But I have read some chatter about it, so I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
And Chirag Bhai, no, Mohammad Azam Bhai is saying, before I get to Chirag Bhai saying, Aksar will give some batting options. Definitely, he'll give you batting options. He'll give you that counter-attacking thing as well.
You realize if we have Aksar in the team, we can bat up till 9. That will be a new thing for us. कभी ऐसा सोचते नहीं हम now तक batting कर सकते बोल के.
Yeah.
Because Jaddu, Akshar, and Ashwin all can bat now. So
all can bat and they all have like big scores. So yeah, definitely. Whether drop hoga hi. I have never seen Australian series where Labuschagne is not dropped. Yeah, man, he gets dropped almost every match I see. Usko kahin na kahin chance mil jata hai Labuschagne ko. So you can't afford that, man.
I think the basics, if India does the basics right in this series, they will go on and win comfortably. But the problem is that it's become very difficult to switch roles so quickly nowadays. You literally played a game yesterday. Not many of these players are playing the test series and everything. But with all that being said and done, also I think that it's very important to get your basics right and then get to that point where you are in that headspace for 90 overs. You're completely focused on the pitch. It's not easy.
Yeah, 100%. And Don, I mean, before I ask you a couple more questions, I just wanted to say that now the lead up to this series, we'll have some interesting topics. We got some cool graphics as well. Virat Kohli versus Steve Smith is one topic that we're going to talk about. The other one is Ashwin versus Lion, and there's going to be about fast bowling. Then we'll talk about pitches. There's a lot of things. We'll see if we can get guests as well. But there's some good topics. So even if you can't join us for the show, make sure you watch the show and let me know what you think about that. It's some fun stuff. It's gonna be
100%, bro. Looking forward to it. I have the weekend
yeah.
off. Come,
uh,
bring it on.
but also, like, because I have you on, I like to get your opinions on certain things. Right now, if you see in Test cricket, Virat Kohli's form's not been there, but we've seen in the other formats what he's done. Steve Smith is coming back into form in all formats, it looks like. So if we see that matchup, just if you give me a small preview right now, how are you looking at that matchup? We will get the stats and everything in the future episodes, but for now, kya lag raha?
I think it's been a while since we saw, like, two of these kind of comeback legends. Both of them kind of written off. A lot of discussion about them being dropped from the white ball format and this and that and everything. And both of them have come out there and shown what kind of bosses they are. And it's beautiful to see that, because Virat in the T20 World Cup, and to an extent he's been scoring century after century in the one days as well. And he's ready, he's fit, he's raring to go. You see that Virat of the 2016, where he's just really raring to go, and that's just beautiful to see. And I think I'm not going to count out like a couple centuries from Virat this time around. I think he has that in him for doing the same thing. Steve Smith will have a little bit more challenging for him, because Indian pitches, spinning pitches, and everything. It's very different from what he's been used to and where he's gotten his form back. So that's going to be the challenge for Steve Smith. But I expect at least one century from Steve Smith as well. And I'm really looking forward to both these kind of stalwarts of their own perspective, of their own teams, to really come back and shut down any doubters once and for all.
Yeah, and what I also want to ask you, Ashish gets very pissed off when I call Rohit Sharma king because he's thinking there's only one king in the team. So I have a new
There is
name for
only
Rohit
one
Sharma.
king.
Rohit Sharma's name is Your Majesty. So he is the captain of the ship. He's the leader, and I haven't seen him in a while leading Test cricket. I don't even know if you've seen. Like, it's been a long time. I don't know even if he's captained, or it's been that long, right? So Rohit Sharma, hopefully he's fit. He's going to play the first thing. There's a lot of pressure on him. He's going to be open the batting. He's going to be captaining as well. Do you see, first of all, do you see us, him in a different kind of thing? Do you see more aggressive than he usually is, more proactive in the field, and also with the bat? We've seen that he does well on rank turners. Actually, he does get troubled by spin, but we saw against England that 175 that he hit. He can, take that counter attack and make use of the new ball. In India, you need to make use of the new ball compared to the older ball.
I think a lot of pressure is on Rohit to really come good this tournament. I think, like you said, a lot of injuries, too many things up and down for him. If he can get Australia a clean sweep, everyone will shut up about his captaincy. Everyone's going to just keep quiet. Everyone's going to be like, "How bhai score 5 saal khilao, 10 saal khilao, whatever." So that it is very very important tournament for him. It is a crux situation for him, because, like, he's already, like, there's talk about Virat and Rohit not coming in the T20 setup anymore. So there's talk about this different captaincy, like, a split captaincy. ये वो बहुत बातें हो रही है. It's time for Rohit Sharma to come in and be like, okay, fine, आप लोगों को जो करना है करो. यहाँ पे मैं आ रहा हूँ. I'm showing you what I'm capable of. I'm going to win you a series against the mighty Australians, and I'm going to take you to the World T20 finals, and I'm going to win you that. That's the kind of mindset I want to see Rohit Sharma in. Very, very important for him. And I think amongst the top 5 batsmen, depending on who they play, Gill or Sky, I think among the top 4 at least, I think he's the guy who can really do some damage. RK, similar to what I was talking about Surya Kumar as well. You let the Puji and Virat, do the kind of the settle down kind of batting. Give Rohit the license to go in and go at a like 50-60 runner ball. If he gets out of that, it's okay. You bring that kind of momentum onto the Indian side, and then you let someone like a Puji or a Kohli go and get those big runs for you.
Yes, गुड पॉइंट्स देयर मोहम्मद भाई सिंह भाई. इंडिया का वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप जानने के लिए ये तीनों मैच जीतना जरूरी है क्या? अगर
Yes.
3-0 या 3-1 जीते तो आपको ऑटोमेटिक एंट्री मिलती है, मतलब डायरेक्ट टिकट है फाइनल को. अगर आप 2-1 जीते या 2-0 जीते, फिर आपको डिपेंड करना पड़ता है दूसरे रिजल्ट्स पे. आई थिंक एक कौन सा श्रीलंका न्यूजीलैंड का सीरीज है, दूसरा साउथ अफ्रीका नहीं, क्या है, साउथ अफ्रीका श्रीलंका है, और I don't know. There's two other series that you have to rely on basically. Basically, Sri Lanka and South Africa. These two teams. I think New Zealand is playing one team, and I don't know who's playing the other team. But yeah, you have to rely on those series for India. If they don't win 3-1 or 3-0, अगर आप 4-0, 3-1 या 3-0 जीते, आप direct oval जा रहे हैं. So India will have to try and if they want it in their hands, they'll have to try and win by that match. And it's not going to be easy, Don. We've seen them win by 3-1, 3-0 margins in the past, whether it's Australia itself or England.
This is going to be difficult. Yep. No, it's definitely going to be difficult. Yeah. I want to talk about a lot of discussion about really quickly. I don't want to take too much time, but really quickly, ये pitches के बारे में बहुत बातें कर रहे हैं. Pitches के बारे में बहुत बातें कर रहे हैं. I want to once and for all, anyone who's listening, इंडिया में आ रहे आपको टर्नर्स मिलेंगे, आपको जो उखाड़ना है आप उखाड़ लो, आपको टर्नर्स मिलेंगे. वी विल यूज होम एडवांटेज टू आवर बेनिफिट. आप जाके मेरे को पर्थ पे बाउंसी पिचेस नको बनाओ भाई, आपको नहीं करना है तो पिंडे का वादा नको करो. यहाँ पे you will get turners. Be ready for it. That's the whole point of Test cricket, where you go to a different country and you go and work with their advantages. ये बयान के वादा नको करो. इयन चैपल परसों कुछ तो भी हवाले बातें कर रहा, वो इयन बोथम कुछ तो भी हवाले बातें कर रहा, मेरे को सुनना ही नहीं है. You will get a turner in India. Come prepared for that.
Pat Cummins, are you listening, bro? The owner has something to say. The major, मगर Don एक problem है उसमें. मेरे को नया
अभी का भी problem हो गया है.
हाँ नहीं वो नहीं है. I think India will, because I think the spinners are better. It's advantage for India only. Problem क्या है कि demerit points affect your ranking.
उत्ता भी run. Don't make roads like Pakistan did, or don't make ranked turners where 2 दिन में गेम खत्म हो जा रहे. Make a thing after 3 days the pitch deteriorates. That is normal. कि pitch को deteriorate after 3 days.
मगर अगर आपको इंडिया को advantage हो ना, you have to make it like how the Ahmedabad pitch was, where it finished in 2-3 days, because it has to turn from ball 1. If you make it turn from 3rd or 4th day, then it's toss dependent. What Joe Root did that time, Joe Root scored a double century and then put India into bat, and all these guys came and picked up the wickets. तो ये problem है आपको. That's where you have to balance it out. I agree, man. I love ranked turner. And bro, they're saying the T20 match was an unfit pitch. What do you mean there was an unfit pitch? एक बार आपको
हार्दिक पांड्या ऐसा बात करना चाहिए. उसको पहले जाके पूछना मैनेजमेंट कई को से बात करा बोल के.
नहीं, हार्दिक पांड्या मगर is not the only guy. Everybody is saying that it shouldn't be like that from the commentators. Why? भाई 100 रन का एक मैच हुआ तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है उसमें? इट बिकम्स अ बैटर्स गेम. मतलब यू ओनली गेट डीमेरिट इफ इट्स 100 गेम. जब 250 हो रहा कोई डीमेरिट नहीं बोलते, खाली टेस्ट में बोलते हैं अरे वो भी पाकिस्तान को अटैक करते हैं, अरे रोड बना दिया बोल के.
Technically, that's the same thing, right? The same problem happens when India scored 234 for 4 or whatever, when Shuman Gill scored that century in the next game. Why is that not a demerit point? If you want a challenging pitch, you have to get a 160 pitch now. So that's when it's good. But it's either or, you have to look at it. And the same pitch में 60 all out हो गए New Zealand. तो आप क्या बोलेंगे? ऐसा होता ही नहीं. That's whole the point of cricket. So though that's a discussion for another day.
We'll just take a few comments and wrap up. We got like Don, I have like 5-10 minutes of your time. We'll just
12:30 I have to leave.
5 minutes then. Even I have to leave. I have to make my team. Steve Mashallah. Steve will face Aksar and Ashwin with SG ball, whereas it can be a little easier for Virat only face line. The thing is,
Swepson.
Bro, they were having problems with Joe Root, man. So like
that's what I'm saying. Swepson comes in as a Chinaman, and
Ashton Agar as well.
Ashton Agar is there.
Ashton Agar, and you have Swepson is your leggy, and then you have Labuschagne, you have Smith. You have a lot of options, man. I don't think
Steve Smith himself is a Chinaman that you can use.
Yeah, but India, I think they just have more quality. I agree with that. If Cummins and Hazelwood can reverse swing as they did in Pakistan, it'll be really tough for India.
भाई कोई भी रिवर्स कर सकता, कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा बैट्समैन को, बिकॉज नाउडेज इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ द T20 evolution, no one's expecting the ball to come in like that. तो एकदम आते कि you open up, you automatically your stance has become just बैट को थोड़ा आउटसाइड द, you get that बैट एंड पैड के बीच में स्पेस बनता है, वो ऑटोमेटिक हो गया, माइंडसेट की वजह से हो गया वो.
It could be a problem for Labuschagne and Smith as well, like Siraj, if he can exploit some reverse swing. They don't like that. And the way India set fields for these two batsmen, they keep a very leg side heavy field. And, even if they do play a shot, hawa mein rehta. And we saw that in Australia. Both Smith and Labuschagne didn't have the greatest of series, even though there were a few big runs from Labuschagne. They were getting dismissed with the leg side trap and the reverse swing.
100%. I think किसी को भी problem हो रहा, because of the evolution of T20 cricket, this has become a problem. No one is playing on the fourth stump line जो हो रहा, अंदर आते कि सब अटक रहे. Almost every single player is getting caught on to that, inside edge into the wickets or just missing it completely. Yeah, hitting that on the leg side and getting caught in the leg side heavy pitches. So Horavo is becoming a normal thing.
South Africa versus West Indies, and I think the other one is Sri Lanka, New Zealand. That
South Africa is probably going to win West Indies quite comfortably. So India has to take this in their own hand, win it 3-1, and then call it a day. Or 4-0 or 3-0, whatever the options are.
Yep. ऐसे versus Australia first test बिल्कुल गार्डन बना रखना था पिच का. Yeah, it was very green that pitch जो पहला टेस्ट मैच था. भगवान करे केएल राहुल हर मैच में 0 पर आया. ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं? किसी का
भाई अपना बॉय है.
हाँ,
अपना बॉय है, खेलना है, इंडिया के लिए खेल रहा है.
किसी इयन हीली भी क्या की बोल के दम कर दे रहा है.
ये सब पहले वाला सुनना चाहिए आजम भाई. आप लाइट लो लोगों को खावना नहीं है, उनका वॉच करना है. अपन यूज करने वाले हैं पिचेस टू आवर एडवांटेज. जो करना है कर लो. अरे सतीश भाई seems very personally offended by KL Rahul over there.
इंडिया भी तो वही पिच पे खेलेगा नहीं भाई. हाँ, मगर वही है कि दे हैव बेटर स्पिनर्स, तो और तकलीफ को होने वाली है. Demerit points affect when you knock the Indian team points. Okay, slow over it will affect the points table. So बनाओ. Okay, thank you.
तो फिर रैंक टेनर बनाओ, क्योंकि स्पिनर ओवर रेट का तो प्रॉब्लम होएगा ही नहीं. पूरे 4 स्पिनर को डाल के बनाओ रैंक टेनर डे 1 से.
ओवर रेट एक्सीलरेट करने वाला है रैंक टेनर.
25 ओवर होने का तो 1 घंटे में.
Yeah, bro, रैंक टेनर बनाओ, जाके खोदो पिच को and make it difficult, because look, again Australia will still be in the game over there. It won't be, India won't run away with victory, because there were certain times Rishabh Pant took India out of jail against England. If you remember, in Ahmedabad and stuff, he was playing those reverse scoops and stuff, and he got India out of jail. Otherwise, वहाँ पे भी problem हो रहा था India को, but they just slightly have that advantage. Agree with Satish, ये KL 0 पे out हुआ तो शायद बाहर वो कहीं 50 मार दिया तो पूरी लाइफ के लिए चिपक जाएगा. तो या केएल राहुल का सेंचुरी है इंग्लैंड में, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी है सेंचुरी नहीं.
I think he's a very very gifted batsman. टाइम अच्छा नहीं चल रहा, थोड़ा उसको पेशेंस रखो उसके साथ.
I understand the frustration towards
नहीं, अब सबका frustration है right now. टाइम अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, and it's completely understandable. But I think that there's more talent than is being shown out right now. That's all.
जाने कितनी का जगह खा रहा है राहुल टेस्ट टीम में. मगर ये भी है सतीश भाई, चिराग भाई, मैं ये बोलता हूँ कि जिसको अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल रही है, अब जैसा उनकी शादी थी, उन्होंने नहीं थे, ईशान किशन डिड नॉट मेक द मोस्ट ऑफ इट, राइट. अब उसको फिर से कंसिडर करेंगे इन T20s. आप लाइक उससे पहले कौन थे, लाइक शुभमन गिल up until like now he was not making. Now he made the most of it. They won't do anything, but there's certain players who don't make the most of it. Samson came in, he got injured, तो ये भी प्रॉब्लम हो रहा.
The only person that's making an impact is Rahul Tripathi. जो उसके innings मार रहा है 40s and 30s or just 10-15 balls. That's very good.
Yeah. Don, your biggest fan is here, man.
Oh, Mr. Ashish Dadwal in the house. What's up, brother?
Ashish saying he won't jump ship and change teams to Arsenal, but then he won't get the league. Huh? Don, he won't get the league.
Title तो मैं यहाँ पे पीछे बढ़ा के रखा हूँ, जो करना है कर लो. If Arsenal don't win the title, मैं I think 1 week का phone switch off करके रखने वाला हूँ.
If Arsenal wins the title, Don is going to treat all of us to World Test Championship final ticket, air ticket and finals ticket.
हाँ, मैं पेपर में बना के दे तू सबको, यहाँ पैसा दिखा तू तुम्हारे को लेके, इसका अगर यूज हो तो चले जाओ.
If you want to read this, you can read without.
I love you too, Ashish.
Yeah. But Don, I like how you're implementing all these Arsenal theories into Sunrisers also, and young team and this and that and everything.
True. Young team with experience. अभी जैसा जोगिनियो को लाए, अभी टेम्बा बबुमा को लाए हैं, तो ना अभी जैसा experience ऐसा लाए हैं, ऐसा हो रहा है. Same exact thing. It's all, the team was doing well, they needed just support of Bambuma ko laya.
I'll just give my honest opinion. I can't believe Arsenal is top of the league, bro. I just cannot believe it. I can't. मैं हजम नहीं हो रहा. Don, we did a whole podcast 2 years ago about why Arteta should get sacked.
I was supporting him. You were against him.
भाई आर्सेनल जीती तो मैं डॉनी के साथ आर्सेनल का मैच देखने जाऊंगा एंड आई विल सपोर्ट देम. आप जाओ, मैं तो जाऊंगा ओवल. डॉन ओवल, एमिरेट्स बिजनेस क्लास टिकट. डॉन इज गोना टेक मी टू द ओवल, कैन सिट इन द कॉर्पोरेट बॉक्स, वॉच सम वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप.
इंशाल्लाह ब्रो, ऐसा भी दिन आएगा इंशाल्लाह. We'll go watch it one day.
I think I'll have to wrap it up there because I'm giving Don 3 minutes to leave. But शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत for joining. अगर weekend पे भी अगर आप जुड़ सकते तो जुड़िए. बहुत मजा आया, fresh opinion आया. I think Faiz got bored of me. I got bored of Faiz, so it was good for you to come on.
फैज का ईमेल आया, वीकेंड ऑफ होना कहते उसको, मैं वहां पूछा.
तुम फोटो देखे मेरे फैस मैंने डाला था सोशल मीडिया पे, वहीं से मैंने डिस्ट्रैक्ट
पंटर वहीं से ना, पंटर भी वहीं से.
सब वहीं है, सब उधर ही फिर रहे. कोई निकलना नहीं चाह रहा, from downtown Dubai. Don, you can connect everything and anything in the world with Arsenal. Yeah, bro, this is passion.
It's called a skill बोलते हैं इसको.
Don, you have 2 minutes, not only to go but also to make your team, because the deadline is in 2 minutes for the FPL.
Bro, I'm making my wife drive. I'm gonna put my FPL team on
2 minutes.
overdrive. No, 2 minutes kaiko? We have 30 minutes, no?
No, I have 2 minutes.
Okay. Bye.
With that,
okay,
हाँ?
So, yeah, I agree.
मैं देख लूँगा, आप नहीं, आप कर दीजिए, मैं देख लूँगा.
Okay, चलो, I'll see you. Okay, see you guys later, boy. We'll see you tomorrow. Right.
See you. Satish bhai Singh, Rohit Sharma, Gill, Pujara, King, Bharat, Jaddu, Aksar, Ashwin, Kuldeep, Siraj, Shami. So Satish bhai, अगर मैं देखा, I think if I look at your team, it's a good team. It's no, Bharat, I think, I feel that he will be your keeper. Jaddu and Aksar, if you're playing Bharat, Jaddu and Aksar will give you batting 6-7. Ashwin will give you batting Kuldeep, Siraj, Shami. There's one person you're missing here, man. I don't know who it is, because Rohit Sharma, Gill, Pujara, ये 4 हो गए. Bharat 5, Jaddu 6, 7. अश्विन 8, 9, 10, 11. ये कैसा फिट कर दिया भाई आप? हाँ, मतलब आपका 5वां भरत है. You're not going to play, you're not playing that extra batsman. You're relying on Jaddu as your number 6. I mean, it's a good call. It's a risky call because Jaddu is, you can look at it two ways. One is that, your bowling becomes very tagdi and becomes very difficult for Australia to get away your spinners. The other thing is that Jaddu is coming in fresh of an injury. You're relying on Jaddu, Aksar and Ashwin to at least contribute 100 runs. If they don't, then you're in trouble. So that's a two-way thing. Chirag, I think Rahul is... यही हो रहा था. KL Rahul is going to play, man. Satish bhai, change करो. KL Rahul is your vice captain. He is opening the batting. KL Rahul खेलेगा भरत की जगह. भाई नहीं, KL Rahul खेलेगा opening slot में. खुद की जगह है वहाँ पे. He is going to open the batting for you, for India. And I think Bharat will bat at 6, and I think at 5 maybe Gill or Surya Kumar, or I would go with Gill personally. That's what I would do. KL Rahul is playing, and I don't think he can keep Ashish. I don't know what you think. I don't think he should be keeping as your test keeper. VC को miss नहीं कर सकते. Sorry यार, मैं भूल गया. तो KL Rahul missing थी ये सतीश भाई की टीम से, इसलिए समझ में नहीं आ रहा था मेरे को. लेकिन देखो, ये टीम बुरी नहीं है, मगर बैटिंग थोड़ी लाइट हो जा सकती है इसमें. यही है. Who you dropping? I'm dropping one spinner, Ashish. So I would personally drop Aksar, but they'll either drop Aksar or Kuldeep. That's what I think. I'll drop in a spinner and play 2 spinners, 2 bowlers. I think bas hai bhai. That's what I would do. Rahul test में keep no sorry 3 spinner है आपके पास. Kuldeep को भी अगर खिलाए तो 4 spinner है. हाँ, तो I'm going to drop 1 spinner, either Kuldeep or Aksar. I would drop Aksar. Rahul test में keeping करेगा नक्को भाई, please. Again, like I mentioned, I would go Kuldeep, but probably if it's a ranked runner, Aksar will probably play because it'll become more difficult. And the reason why I'm saying Kuldeep, 2 reasons personally, because I'm a big supporter of Kuldeep Bhai and he's a friend of mine. But more importantly, I think that Aksar and what's his name, Jadeja, both are a bit similar in terms of types of bowlers. फर्स्ट बॉल डक करके पूरी टीम को प्रेशर में कौन डालेगा? अगर केएल नहीं खेलेगा तो भाई टू मच ले रहे हैं आप. वाइस कैप्टन है, अभी शादी वादी करके आ रहे, फ्रेश रहेंगे. और KL Rahul will be the man of the match in the first test match in Nagpur. Also, I think the Indian team have reached there. They've started their camp in Nagpur. Australia have also reached, but they're in Bangalore. I think they're practicing there. Mr. Labuschagne has got his coffee machine and watching some Big Bash with Steve Smith. So, तैयारी शुरू हो गई टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप के लिए. The test is going to be a huge series, India versus Australia. The World Cup, Women's World Cup, also starting 10th February. I think the auction is also 11th for the Women's IPL. So plenty to look forward to. I think simultaneously we'll cover both the test series and the South Africa T20 World Cup. The matches will be after each other, so that will be fun. I don't think it'll be at the same time, so I'm really excited. Asia Cup, World Cup, sub iski wajah se वो एज ए टीम एज ए यूनिट हारे, बॉलिंग भी चली नहीं आपकी सेमीफाइनल में। वो वर्ल्ड कप में दूसरे भी प्लेयर नहीं चले थे, तो इंडिया शुड बी हैप्पी दैट स्टार्क इज नॉट प्लेइंग फर्स्ट टेस्ट. आई थिंक दैट्स अ गुड शॉट. Mitchell Stark can reverse the ball. Mitchell Stark brings you the left arm angle. Mitchell Stark has pace and he can clean up the tail. So I think Stark not playing will definitely give India a slight advantage, but then still you're up against Hazelwood and Cummins. I think potentially Australia will play two seamers, and if Cameron Green is fit, he'll play as the third seamer, and then you have your spinners. I think that's what Australia will do. Important match में केएल राहुल के टांगे कांप जाते हैं भाई, ये तो बात सही है. He does get pressure in big matches, and this is a big series. I hope that he rectifies this and performs in this big series and scores some big runs. उन्हें खेलेंगा तो सही है, अनलेस उसको कुछ इंजरी हो गई या कुछ हो गई. उन्हें फर्स्ट मैच तो केएल राहुल आपका ओपनर है. Worst comes to worst, you'll see him at 5. But KL Rahul is playing 99%. He's opening in that match against Australia, and I don't see anything otherwise. That is just my opinion. Also, let me know who you guys think will win the series. Just give your predictions now. You can change it just before the first test match, because I think there's going to be plenty of information that we still need to see. I would also recommend you guys on Twitter to follow certain journalists like Bharat Sundaresan. He's also been on the show, like on the audio version in Twitter. He will be there covering the games, and he also gives really good footage of the net sessions, practice sessions. There's plenty of other journalists you can follow. Also, Sports Yari, I'm sure someone will be covering from there as well. Always interesting to see how the net preparation is. What kind of drills they're doing, who's looking in form, how the stroke play is going, how the timing is in the net. So I would recommend you guys to go on Twitter, Instagram, and see the any footage or content from the net sessions. It'll give you an idea also of how the players are looking. It won't give you 100% or thing. फैज को भेज दिया फ्लाइट पर. भाई फैज तो फिर रहे इधर से उधर. हम क्या, फैज बॉस है कहीं, मतलब डॉन इज द ओनर, आशीष इज द बॉस, एंड देन फैज इज द वीपी, एंड देन इट्स मी. तो क्या बोल सकते हैं, फैज को जो भी करना कर सकते हैं, हम कैसा रोके. बट ही विल बी बैक विद अस सून. वी मिसिंग हिम टुडे. ही विल बी बैक विद अस सून. राहुल बीसीसीआई का घर जमाई है. देखो सतीश भाई, आपको ये भी देखना है कि पास्ट में केएल राहुल ने परफॉर्मेंस दी है. ठीक है, बड़े मैच में आप बोल रहे नहीं दे रहे, वो मैं सहमत हूँ उसके साथ. लेकिन अगर आप टेस्ट मैचेस में देखें, उसकी 100 इंग्लैंड में, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी उसने डिसेंट कर चुका है. न्यूजीलैंड में ही इज डन वेल. तो ही इज डन वेल फॉर इंडिया. एंड व्हेन केएल राहुल गेट्स गोइंग, ही इज अ वेरी टैलेंटेड प्लेयर. बट I understand what you're saying, and I think Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, they really back him. They believe in his talent. लेकिन ये भी बात है, अगर उसने परफॉर्मेंस नहीं दी ये सीरीज में, तो उसका पोजीशन तो जाएगी, वाइस कैप्टनसी तो जाएगी. किंग विल बी मैन ऑफ द सीरीज. Big call. I think man of the series will go to a spinner. I'm going with that call. It's a safe bet because I just feel with India having 4 net spinners coming in and all this talk. Also, I found out from Ibrahim Bhai that the demerit points won't be affected if it's won't affect the World Test Championship table. Only the slow over rate will. So I think India will have ranked runners and spinners will take bunch of wickets. And if someone like a Jadeja or Akshar or even Ashwin contribute with the bat, they will have a better chance for man of the series. Even if he scores 100, he will score less than 10 in all other innings. South Africa got docked a point in Super League for slow over rate. So now Ireland and South Africa could both end 98 points with the net run rate deciding who finishes 8th man. That is crucial. Also, I like this system because the thing is, before you were just finding captains, it wasn't affecting their pocket. I'll be very honest with you. There's no problem. Captains were taking their sweet time, especially in, in situations, not even in pressure situations. Just, I've gone to matches live and I noticed they were taking too much time. So by doing these things which affects the bigger picture, I think captains will be more attentive now, especially that rule where you have to get a fielder in the circle for the last couple of overs if you don't finish your overs on time. I think that's a very good rule. I like that. Why is Ian Healy saying that he wants good pitches, just playing mind games? When India goes to Australia, they don't prepare spinning tracks for us. Mehman Nawazi thodi karni hai. He's saying that because he's Australian. He wants Australia to do well, and this is a common discourse if you see in cricket when there is rank turners, or if in particular in the subcontinent, even in Pakistan when there's roads, they criticize the pitch first. and especially because they know that Australia will find it extremely difficult, in those conditions. But I'll tell you something. I think if I am the Australian captain, if I am Pat Cummins, I'm not worried if it's a ranked tournament. I'm saying that, look, I have Nathan Lyon, I have Ashton Agar, I have Swepson. Then if I need, I got Labuschagne Smith. India don't really have part-timers who will bowl spin. I know Shreyas Iyer has bowled in the past, but I don't think he will bowl at a regular basis. Rohit Sharma is an option, but I don't see him bowling. So I'm not worried. I'm saying ki bhai leke aao ye pitches. If we lose, we lose. You're the better team. But I think Australia can give a better competition to India. But also, I would flip it and say it's India's best chance to win a series is on a ranked tenure because of the likes of Ashwin, Jadeja, and thing. But will their batting be able to cope? I'm not sure. It might be a tough call. But for Australia, I think it'll be a closer series. If it's a ranked runner, they will give a good fight. I'm not worried if I'm Pat Cummins if it's a ranked runner. Normal series में चाहिए जो कर लें, but अब सिर्फ वर्ल्ड कप चाहिए. देखो वर्ल्ड कप का ये है सतीश भाई, एक आपका बुरा गेम होता है एंड आप आउट हो जाते हैं. एंड ऑल्सो आई विल से दैट इंडिया के साथ बहुत हो जा रहा है ये लास्ट 10 years में. हर टूर्नामेंट में एक बड़ा मैच में आप फेल कर रहे हैं. आई अंडरस्टैंड वर्ल्ड कप चाहिए, सबको वर्ल्ड कप चाहिए, होपफुली आएगा वो ये साल. लेकिन यू हैव टू लुक एट द टेक इट सीरीज बाय सीरीज. फर्स्ट नाउ लुक एट ये सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट आपको क्या है अभी, वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप फाइनल पहुंचो. अगर आप वहां पहुंचे और आप वो जीत गए तो वो आपको कॉन्फिडेंस मिल जाता है. रोहित शर्मा आपका कप्तान है, वो अगर वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप ओवल में लिफ्ट किया उसको कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगा. इंडिया वर्ल्ड कप में प्रेशर कम होगा, जैसे कि भाई आई गॉट दिस, आई वन अ बिग series, I've won a big tournament, I've beaten Australia in England in the final, I've lifted the trophy. Now bring on the series at home, bring on the World Cup at home, I'll take it from there. But it's not even that. I would go look the test series, then IPL, ठीक है, उसके बाद वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप, फिर एशिया कप के बाद फिर आप वर्ल्ड कप सोचो. मेरे हिसाब से ऐसा करना चाहिए. शाहीन शाह का शादी हुआ शाहिद अफरीदी की बेटी के साथ. मैं देखा आज फोटो, बहुत बहुत मुबारक शाहीन शाह को और शाहिद अफरीदी और उनकी बेटी को, पूरी फैमिली को बहुत बहुत मुबारक. आई सॉ द पिक्चर्स ऑफ द nikah where Shaheen was signing the papers, so congratulations to him. I know that they were engaged, but yeah, I didn't know they were getting married today. Will Australia go with 3 spinners? They don't have to, but I think if it's the first test match, if they might. If it's again, it depends on the pitch. If it's a ranked turner, I think they will go with 3 spinners for sure. The reason why I say they don't have to is because they have Labuschagne and Smith also as your options. What are your thoughts on Super League being scrapped and ICC deciding to return to ranking systems after this year's World Cup? I have to look into it, but I was not too impressed with the Super League. Like, it wasn't like a thing. It was just, they were trying to make it like how they're doing the World Test Championship, but it wasn't having that impact. For me, if you return to the ranking systems, it's fine, because in white ball cricket, you're looking at the 50 over, you're looking at the T20 World Cup, you're looking at the Champions Trophy. I don't think people really care about, like, to make bilaterals interesting, you have some ODI Super League. It didn't really make a difference. I don't remember a bilateral series being covered by, like, even the media saying that this series is so important for the rankings of the Super League. Whereas in the World Test Championship, you see that all eyes are on this series because it's going to affect India's chances to play in that WTC final. राहुल के रिकॉर्ड के का क्या करें जब वो एशिया कप वर्ल्ड कप में नहीं चलता. इससे तो अच्छा रिकॉर्ड शिखर धवन का है आईसीसी इवेंट में. भाई मैं आर्ग्यू नहीं कर सकता इस बात पे, वो तो है धवन का जो है आईसीसी इवेंट में इज अ बेटर रिकॉर्ड. ही इज डन मच बेटर एंड या मे बी केएल राहुल, होपफुली वी सी हिम. लेकिन ये भी बात है कि भाई अगर उन्हें वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप भी खेला और ये सीरीज खेला, नहीं परफॉर्म करा, उसको डाउट्स बहुत आ जाएंगे वर्ल्ड कप भी खिलाना, वनडे वर्ल्ड कप, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस प्रेशर ऑफ अ बिग गेम. तो आई थिंक ही हैज टू रिटर्न टू फॉर्म एंड देन वी कैन टेक इट फ्रॉम देयर. कंपटीशन इंडिया में हर वक्त रहता है, लेकिन आप ये भी देखें कि कौन उसका स्पॉट लेके, like, 100% will make the most of it. That also we have to see. Like, Ishan Kishan hasn't done well in the last 6 T20s. One days maybe after that 200 he hasn't done too much. Will somebody else come in? We don't know, but yeah. Okay, bye. Love you too, man. Take care, Satish bhai. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. And whoever has joined me today, who's joined Don, we really appreciate your time. If you have any closing questions or comments, please do ask me. Otherwise, I will wrap it up. and we'll catch you on the flip side hopefully tomorrow. Like I said, we have a lot of to cover for the BGT, a lot of topics. Faz has been working really hard on the graphics as well, and we'll have some good discussions, we'll have some stats for you, we'll have some nice comparisons, and hopefully we can try to get a guest, one or two guests on as well to analyze this series. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also really excited for the Women's World Cup, T20 World Cup. I think it's going to be really good, and the fact that the women's IPL auction is also at the same time, and we have an IPL right after the T20 World Cup will also be great. So yeah, looking forward to all the cricket. And again, dil se shukriya jo bhi join kare aaj. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you hopefully tomorrow. We'll discuss more BGT and cricket in general. Take care, guys. Have a good rest of the night, and talk to you soon.